These are devotions for people at a social distance. We're living, it seems, in these days at this weird conjunction between hope and despair. Some of the things that are happening in the world around us right now give us enormous hope. I mean, this week in particular, we're seeing a great ramp up of vaccination in our area. People are out there getting needles into arms, and that gives us an enormous amount of hope that we're going to get out of this thing and that things are going to get very better before very long at all, and that's a wonderful feeling. And yet at the same time we are also experiencing what I think has been officially declared to be a third wave, and numbers on the rise, and hospitals are full, and an emergency and intensive care units are full, and this is very frightening and very disturbing, and this makes our hearts cast down within us. So we're living in this strange um, intersection of hope and despair, which, let me tell you, is kind of the experience of life. Life is often lived at the intersection of hope and despair. And if you don't have things to be anxious about, if you don't have things to worry about, you cannot experience hope. And you cannot experience hope if you've not struggled to a certain extent with despair. The two often go hand in hand. But how do you live out in such times? I was reading today in Psalm 27:13 and 14. I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. And that last verse in particular kind of speaks to me in these days. It is hard to be patient. It is hard to wait, to do some of the things we would like to do, or to get some things back to some sense of normalcy, because the sense of promise is there. The idea that the end of the tunnel is coming is there, and yet in many ways we need to be more cautious, more careful, more patient now than ever before, because if we are not, things could really get out of hand kind of easily. That's just where we are right now. And I just appreciate that this verse says, to wait, to be patient, to experience patience when it's difficult, because nobody has a problem with patience when things are easy, right? Being patient when it is difficult is a way to be strong, is a courageous thing to do. It is not courageous. It is not courageous to just go ahead and just pretend there's nothing wrong and go back to ordinary life, and thus endangering the community. That's not courage. That is foolishness. That is not faithfulness. That is betraying the community in which we live. Being patient is an expression of hope. And that's the expression of hope we need to be living out in these days. Lord, it's hard to be patient. Oh, we so want to get this virus out of the way. Teach us the true virtue of patience. In these days we ask. Amen.